Okay, folks, welcome to my presentation on the latest Liam Gray kerfuffle, a video I'm calling Credit Where Credit Isn't Due? I apologize for breaking from my normal review videos like this, but I saw a post on X that I felt I needed to address right away. That post comes from Comicsgate patriarch Ethan Van Sciver, and he appears to be giving Liam Gray an attaboy, son, over the biggest problem in the universe's Vito Gesualdi and comics creator Stimulated Cynic with regard to a controversy going on concerning certain high-profile manga creator accolades Liam has claimed for himself. Liam's side of the story is concisely explained in this little exchange here between Liam and Malik Torahani. Liam says, "They're trying to claim Odie and I never got feedback or lined up for the editor following the COVID stuff." And Malik replies, "What? But I've seen the correspondence between you and the Jump people." To which Liam responds, "Yeah, man, same story, different day." So Liam's saying that the claim in question is that he and fellow comic book creator Odie never got feedback from whoever the Jump people are. And Malik says, "But I've seen that correspondence. So the feedback exists. Slam dunk, right?" Well, it would be, except for the fact that from what I'm aware, this is a misrepresentation of the claim in question. Stimulated Cynic's claim is not that Liam and Odie never received any direct feedback about whatever book is in question here. The claim is that Liam also attributed to himself and Odie feedback that may not actually apply to their book specifically. In other words, Stimulated Cynic, and now Vito since he's seen the evidence that Cynic has brought to bear, and which I'll be showing you in a moment, is claiming that Liam is engaging in a sort of stolen valor offense and converting generalized praises he might not actually deserve into individualized praises targeting himself and his books specifically. These praises most recently appeared on the Indiegogo campaign page for Dino King #1's second printing. Here is the list of praises. However, this particular campaign page is not where this list of praises originated, so I'm going to refer back to an earlier and identical version of these praises that contains the exact same info seen here, but also contains a little more preceding context just to help us understand what's being said. That earlier version comes from the first Indiegogo Dino King campaign page, and if you ever wondered what was the value of being in Ethan Van Sciver's Comicsgate network, this is the value of being in Ethan Van Sciver's Comicsgate network. So don't sleep on getting some of that human sunbeam money if you can get it. Getting back to the scandal, this was Liam's first campaign page for Dino King, and this is the list of praises with additional context at the beginning. These full contextual remarks preceding the praises basically say that Liam and another creator, elsewhere identified as Odie, created a couple of 55-page manga books, and these books were both critically acclaimed and the recipients of high praise from some of the most successful mangaka in the world. Mangaka simply being the Japanese term for manga artists. And when you look at the list of creators here, you get a very impressive lineup. The last two listed are actually a voice actor and an anime studio, but when you look at the first four creators and their respective properties, whoo lad, that is one impressive array. To get praise from these luminaries is to receive high praise indeed. And according to these helpful bracketed blurbs that Liam has supplied, we are given to understand that the praise in question is indeed directed at Liam and Odie specifically. Plus, these quoted portions certainly do seem to be talking about one or both of Liam and Odie's singular stories. In other words, all the praises we've just seen, according to how they were copied down and presented to us, appear to be targeted at these two books specifically, and at Liam and Odie specifically as the creators of those two books. But is that the truth? To determine the real story here, we first have to discern who are the Jump people and what is this feedback that was given. Well, the Jump people are in fact the 6 judges of the Jump Tezuka Manga Contest 100th Anniversary Overseas Department Special Award, a contest that accepts manga stories written by creators not located in Japan. If you go to the View Submissions tab and sort on Most Viewed, you'll see Liam and Odie's X-Roads Strive entry currently occupying an impressive 7th place. And I'm not joking when I say impressive, because at 40 entries per page and 34 pages of entries, that means Liam and Odie are charting a very impressive 7th out of 1,300 popularity-wise. But that's going by number of views. What did the 6 judges have to say about Liam and Odie's entry? I went looking for judges' comments on the individual page created for X-Roads Strive, and while I found a button where you can actually read the entry for free, and I highly recommend you check it out, it's really impressive, I didn't see any comments the judges made on this book in particular. I did, however, find a page of comments that the judges made about all of the entries and entrants generally speaking. And here's where we run into the basis of Stimulated Cynic's claim against Liam. These comments that the judges made generally about all the contest entries and entrants look suspiciously similar to these remarks the judges were reported by Liam to have been made specifically about Liam and Odie and their particular entry or entries. So what we're going to do now is compare each of these quotes one by one against the judges' general testimonials, starting with this one. The story was full of energy, and I enjoyed reading it. For a manga from overseas, I didn't feel any awkwardness while reading. It's great to see this kind of ambition. It felt really refreshing and fascinating. Let's compare that with that same judge's general comments. The entries were full of energy, and I enjoyed reading them. I did not feel any awkwardness while reading. The entries were full of diversity, which felt very refreshing and fascinating. Notice how entries in the plural appears to have been reduced to story in the singular. Likewise, the refreshing and fascinating qualities of the diversity that existed among all the entries seems to have been attributed to Liam and Odie's story specifically. Moving on to the next one, this was a winning book. Its only downside was that the entrants, Liam and Odie, made a continued series. Compare that with, the one downside is that many entrants of the overseas division seems to not know the difference between a one-shot manga and a continued series. I don't see any reasonable way the term many entrants could be applied specifically to Liam and Odie, if that's what happened here. In fact, it's entirely possible that the group of many entrants cited by the judge doesn't include Liam and Odie at all. How about this one? I had so much fun. The entrants, Liam and Odie, are able to think outside the box. Even though I am the judge, I learned something. I had a realization. Manga is allowed to be free-spirited. Now see here. I had a lot of fun. Many entrants are able to think outside the box. Again, many entrants, not all the entrants, but many entrants, as in you can't be sure he's including you. Even though I am the judge, I learned something. I had a realization. Oh, manga is allowed to be this free-spirited. Note that the judge had this realization after reading all the entries, not just after reading the one entry by Liam and Odie. Next up, the entrants, Liam and Odie, are a rare talent. If they stick together, they will go far. I couldn't put it down. The story was full of energy. Compare that with, many entries were full of energy and was a great experience to read despite the long pages. This is probably the most inexact match we've seen so far. It's kind of a leap to go from many entries were a great experience to read despite the long pages to I couldn't put it down. But you still get a sense of what might have been extracted here, especially as regards applying the phrase full of energy to Liam and Odie's story specifically. Now let's look at this one. First of all, I was truly amazed by the level of art skills in writing. The moving panel layouts and compositions were unexpected. This is a manga story that never could have come from a Japanese mangaka. I'm really happy to see that. Let me just prepare you. If the last match was pretty inexact, by contrast, this match is fucknuts insane in its exactitude. First of all, I was truly amazed at the level of art skills and writing. Some of the entries, had a full grasp of the Japanese manga grammar, a technique to make the images look as if it is moving with panel layouts and composition, which was unexpected. They had unique ideas that would never come from a Japanese artist. I felt really happy to see that. Seriously, you should pause the video and just marvel at this one for a while. The last one is a nothing burger in comparison. Overall, the art skills were very high. It's an exact match, and the only thing that's confusing here is that I don't know why the second portion of the sentence, which sounds pretty positive, wasn't swiped too, assuming that's what happened here, of course. But this one? What the fuck? Now, in Liam's defense, there are portions of some of these quotes that don't seem to be sourced from the creator quotes we've seen. And you may recall that Malik Torihani testified that he saw some sort of feedback-like correspondence coming to Liam from a contest-related address. So I would argue that it's entirely possible the 6 judges sent Liam individually tailored feedback that's templated off the more generalized comments we saw on the judge's testimonial page, especially since Liam and Odie's being in the top 10 would certainly warrant that kind of individual attention from the judges. Given the overwhelming appearance of quote swiping, I'd say that at this point, if Liam wants to continue claiming the quotes cited on his campaign pages are genuine, and especially if he wants to use them in the future, then the burden of proof is upon him to publish copies of the source emails he received from the contest and/or judges, which I'm sure he's kept copies of because holy hell, can you imagine deleting an email containing praises and notes from any of these guys? There's no way! Without those emails, though, I think a jury would conclude beyond a reasonable doubt that Liam deliberately tailored these generalized quotes to look targeted toward his and Odie's work. And as somebody who's collected positive blurbs for his own book before, I can tell you that taking a generalized comment and making it sound like it means you specifically is not something you can legitimately do. You need blurbs that praise you and or your own book specifically. You can't just take, for example, a horror writer like Stephen King saying, "Like the quality of today's horror novels," and then claim Stephen King likes your horror novel. Those are two different things entirely, and you know it. By the way, my book here is a collection of actual quotes from Christian writers who are being misquoted by the Jehovah's Witnesses. So I am just reeling from the irony of realizing that where misquotes are concerned, this video is not my first rodeo, or even my second. By the way, both of these books are available on Amazon if anyone's got an interest in early Christian literature. Just please don't read my horrendously out-of-date author bio. I said don't read it! Alright, before I conclude this video, I think it's important to note that all the Liam-related material from this presentation was stuff I originally learned from the FFS podcast, particularly the video on the right, though I do recommend watching both videos, so I can't claim credit for any real investigative work, and I'm not about to steal any valor from those who did the actual legwork to bring this scandal to our attention. So here's your shout-out, guys. Job well done. What I wanted to do was simply repackage and represent the given information so that it'd be easier to follow, and mainly because sometimes Ethan Van Sciver watches my channel, and I definitely wanted him to know that this score he gave Liam and Vito is actually more like this score. In the end, though, does it really matter? Not so far as any quality of work goes, of course. That's completely independent of the integrity and reputation of any creators involved. It certainly won't affect how I review the stories in Liam's Conquest Annual 2024, 2025, or 2026, whatever year it's actually coming out now, or any other future books of his. And to Liam's credit, this latest campaign of his does not contain the list of praises he's been lambasted for, so it's not like this scandal refers to an ongoing thing. So long as those quotes don't reappear on a new campaign page, I'm perfectly fine with calling this whole thing a done deal and moving on. The only lasting thing I expect this scandal will do is make people who are aware of the whole situation take it with a grain of salt the next time Liam shouts, "They're lying about me! They're lying about me!" Plus, you can be sure we readers will be on the lookout for any future indicators that comic book creators might be taking credit where credit isn't due. Thank you for watching. If you found the information in this video helpful, please hit like and also hype if that button is available. Hype is a new button that tells YouTube you think more people should see this video. You'll also want to subscribe to be notified of my future videos. Right now, I'm in the midst of reviewing Rippaverse's ISOM number 3. I'd also like to thank everyone who helped me raise $150 to purchase copies of Mandy Summers' Super Dead number 1 and 2 and Vito Gesualdi's Super Killer. I'm looking forward to reviewing all of these books when they deliver, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on the videos to come. I'd also like to encourage everyone to create accounts on these alt-tech platforms. You never know when YouTube or X is going to boot you for whatever reason. I myself was permanently banned from X a while back, and I'd be completely up the creek if there weren't other platforms like Gab and Truth Social that let me keep in touch with creators real time. I also keep a presence on Rumble and BitChute just in case YouTube ever decides to drop the hammer on me, and I occasionally post exclusive videos to Rumble and BitChute that cover content that may be too spicy for YouTube's rules, so make sure to explore my videos on those platforms to keep current with all my content. I'm Mike Partika. Once again, thank you for watching. I mean, everyone watching, thank you. No, not just you, Liam. Don't go telling people I thanked you for watching specifically. And I will talk to you later.